to the recording, so everything going to be recorded now. Once again, welcome everyone to the official Model United Nation training, MUN 101 training with myself. I'm Model United Nation consultant and expert, and also I'm a chief advisor for World Youth International Model United Nation. Usually, whatever the emails you are receiving about allocations and WhatsApp group, your queries, your problems, I'm actually keep handling all those things. It's a quite pretty much busy days, and the days are very nearby. Just about a couple more days, Saturday and Sunday. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy that because we have put plenty of things, good things, learning aspects for you guys. Okay, so before moving into that, please get yourself acknowledge about the rules of this session. It will be the remain for your session as well. Again, please, you are not allowed to interrupt me in between. You cannot unmute your mic until unless I will recognize you, until unless I'll ask you to ask a question. I have a presentation that I'm going to show you guys. In between the presentation, I will ask you if someone have a question. There is a raise hand option in your Zoom. Just find out on your screen. You guys are very much good. You guys are, I'm sure, very much IT literate as well, that you can easily understand. And thank God, I would say that I would consider this COVID, that it gives us a huge opportunity to understand the digitalization and actual information technology. So it's really good for us. And again, on the other hand, really sad about how the situation and how the pandemic is going on. The deep condolence in that. I hope everything going to be fine, and we'll be back our own order. Hopefully, may Allah bless for everyone, to entire world actually. So let's move on. Okay. Again, I am muting all of you. Okay, not muting myself. Okay, and now I'm going to share my screen with the presentation. Okay, and this is how we're going to begin it. And I'm just going to share the screen. So, can you guys see my screen? I'm sure you guys can see my screen very well. Okay, so let's begin our session. Okay, I'm just doing that. Okay, so that's pretty much better. Just a bit of setting into the things whether it's necessary or not. I'm just doing all those things, so at least you guys could easily handle everything. Okay, guys, once again, welcome. We are beginning into that. I can see people are keep coming. It's great. Okay, so guys, I'm going to officially announce and of course starting this thing. Okay, so once again, before I can start, please respect all other delegates, respect this training session. I'm here for you guys. Believe me, if you concentrate, it will be a maze for you guys. If you don't concentrate, unfortunately, you will not be survived during the committee session, because it is pretty much difficult and slightly boring as well. I will try my best to make it more and more spicy, more and more juicy or something, whatever you would like to put into that, to make it more interesting for you guys. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so again, it always necessary that whenever you've been trained by someone, whenever you got an opportunity to get a training or workshop, please do review the profile of the trainer. And it start from here. About myself, of course, like, am I actually capable enough to train you guys or not? The answer is at the front of your groups. I'm going to start with my education career, quickly about my career, my expertise, of course. So I'm graduated from PFK, Pakistan Air Force, Karachi Institute of Economics Technology, Karachi, Pakistan. So graduate in telecommunication networking. And then I did my post-graduation from Middlesex University, London in international relations, and then followed by did 2 specialized certification in global diplomacy from University of London and public policy economics from University of Oxford. Okay, and moving to the important thing about my Model UN career, that's what you guys are here today. I've been doing and serving Model UN Nation since 2009, and today across the globe, I'm recognized consultant and trainer of Model UN Nation globally. Okay, and it's been like about more than 10 years. It's between of 11 years, I guess. Okay, yep. In 2012, some great achievements. I was only Pakistani student in 2012 that been selected by the United Nations headquarters to attend their first annual Model United Nations workshop. As it clearly says that I am actually certified. I've got enough knowledge to somehow organize a Model UN conferences, to train the people about Model United Nations conferences, and so on, because I've attended this workshop, official workshop by the United Nations. Okay, moving into that, again, it's an amazing opportunity for me. I was selected by the Geneva International Model United Nations as the trainer or the block representative for the OIC, Organization for Islamic Cooperation, in 2012, and I've trained almost 65 and some observation countries as well. So it was more or less about 65 to 67 countries I've trained over there in Geneva House, the secondary headquarters of UN. Conference was Geneva International Model United Nations. And then 2 years back, the great thing, I've been awarded the United Ambassador, actually, United Ambassador Hall of Famer as the exceptional Model United Nations trainer across the globe. Okay, so that was the biggest one, and now move into that. And then last year I've been awarded a Sheikh Zayed Peace Award. It was a great conference. Last year it was for Sheikh Zayed Peace Conference, and I've been awarded a Sheikh Zayed Peace Award into that. Okay, that's pretty much into that. Now moving into the main thing, which is really important for everyone to understand who you are actually, why you are here, what you are going to do in this conference, what is the main purpose of this conference. Like especially during this current time, you have got a pretty much time to get yourself relaxed, giving your time to your family, and of course try to indulge with the different good things. But one of the good thing is actually this conference. I'm glad that you have made it, and of course those who have not made it, I urge, please go for it, because I'm sure you're going to be really enjoy this conference. I'm the life example for it. I'm doing from last 11 years. Keep doing that, because it does have very amazing thing. Okay, let's move into that. Who you are in this environment. Okay, answer. You are representing your country. Again, the country that not you are belongs to, the country that we have allocated. Again, I'm sure the people are thinking, oh, I'm not being allocated any of the country. Just calm down. By today, you will receive the allocation email. Okay, so you're representing your country that you have been allocated. Okay, you're representing your nation. Okay, you are representing your government. You are an ambassador. It is very important. You are a delegate. Okay, and lastly, and the biggest thing, you are a diplomat. It means you have to act like a diplomat. It means no first person conversation like I Fawadil Langa. No. You have to say, for instance, I'm representing Canada. Okay, so I have to say the delegate of Canada, or as a delegate of Canada, or the delegation of Canada, or the ambassador of Canada, or the representative of the government of Canada, or the diplomat Canada. This is what is your official terminology, that when you are addressing to the council, and when you are addressing to your chairpersons. Okay, so this is what is your recognition actually. Like, you are representing your country, your nation, your government, and you have to act as a diplomat. No personal pronunciation in that, like you're gonna say, I think that this is supposed to be do. Not no, you have to say the delegate of Canada would like to propose, the delegate of Canada thinks, the delegate of Canada believes, something like that, whatever you are representing. Again, so no personal pronunciation, no first person statement into that. Okay, and no need to use the word of I. Okay, you have to use in we. we as a nation, we as a government, we as a diplomat. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so usually if you guys are first timers, okay, and you're not much familiar with this model United Nation criteria, I'm going to tell you how does it actually works, especially in the physical conference, just putting into that, because hopefully this pandemic will be really, really lifted very soon, I'm sure. Hopefully very, very soon, may God bless the entire world. Then we will be definitely meeting anywhere in the world. And actually, YMUN is organizing. I mean, we had the conference this year in London, and the second one is in Russia, actually. So, but unfortunately, because of this pandemic, we have postponed our London conference. Hopefully, we are looking forward maybe next year, uh, God willing. And so definitely we will be definitely meeting with each other. So when it comes to the physical conference, this is how actually you guys are sitting. Okay, you will see like the delegates gonna sit at the front. You will be having your facilitator, or you can say your judges, your chairperson. Okay, I can see people are joining. Bear with me, bear with me. Okay, so and then you will be giving a podium or floor to speak on that. So this is actually the typical room when you are dealing with the physical conference. And hopefully, and I'm sure after this conference, we will be meeting in Wyman, London very, very soon, our first physical conference. Okay, so how would you act actually? That is very, very important again. This is how you actually do that. You can't, I mean, again, during the physical conference, I'm just giving you an idea. You can't just like stand and you will say, hello, I'm doing that. Hello, recognize me. No, it's a proper official and formal conference. So you have to recognize yourself actually by raising your placard. And even though in this Wyman, you can say, e-conference, if you would like to, you can make your placard, take a small a bit of a hard, you can say plaque paper or plank or something like that, put your country name or just like something into that, just to make yourself recognized to your chairperson when they will be seeing you. So it's, that's why it says like it's better to open your camera so they can easily recognize that you want to speak. But anyhow, this is actually the screen that you can see. It's pretty much the typical way out or layout of the conference, which I'm going to, I'm sure, seeing you in our physical conference, Wyman physical conference, definitely in London. Okay, so move into more. Okay, fair enough. Just bear with me. Okay, so how the thing's going to start? The debate. Okay, how would we going to start the debate? What is the procedure? How are we going to follow that, what flow of debate we are going to do that? Okay, so we're going to start with the roll call. What is actually the roll call? It is very, very important and necessary to understand that. Okay, so the roll call is actually just like an attendance, like if you're, I mean, in your university, your classroom, your institution, I mean, your teacher actually ask your presence, like how would you be, like show yourself that you are present in this. So it's just like an attendance. Okay, so you put yourself as like a delegate, and then a roll call will be flowed, okay, in the session to find out like who is present, who is not present. So it is just like an attendance. Okay, so and you need to say present and voting. Now, what is the idea behind a present and voting? Well, present, it means that you are present in the council, you are present in the session. Okay, voting means that you are ready to vote, because whatever you are going to discuss, whatever you would like to propose in the session, or whatever you would like to put forward on top, every single country had the right of vote. Okay, we do have observers in the United Nations, of course. We have 193 member states, and and we have some observers. Observers do have the right for voting as well, but they do not have the right to vote on the draft resolution. That's another thing. Okay, just focus on this. So whenever your chairperson will ask, for instance, as I said, recognize me as the delegate of Canada. Okay, so if my name will be called as like delegate of Canada, I will raise my placard if you have that. Otherwise, you will say, okay, delegate of Canada, present and voting. It means I am present. Sorry, not I am. Restrict yourself. You need to say, delegate of Canada is present and voting. Delegate of Canada is available and ready to vote on these things. Okay. So moving into that, what else we have into procedural matters and the substantial matters. Now this roll call is actually for the procedural matters. There are two kind of matters in the Model United Nations Conference: procedural matters and substantial matters. Procedural matters like your speaker list, journal speaker list, moderated caucuses, unmoderated caucus, which is also known as formal caucuses, informal caucuses. I'm going to explain every single thing after that. Okay, those are known as procedural matters. All the things regarding the paperwork, like your draft resolution, particularly draft resolution, amendments, okay, passing the draft resolution, voting procedures, those are substantial matters. So the roll call is actually, just a second, let me just, because this WhatsApp is keep killing me. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Let me just close my WhatsApp because it's really disturbing. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so you're actually voting. The roll call is actually for the procedural matters. I'm going to explain more on the occasion about the procedural matters. Let's move forward. Okay. Okay. What we have further, we have now. Just bear with me. Move into set the agenda. It is very, very necessary that we should know what is the agenda. And we do have the agenda of this conference. I'm sure you guys know. Okay, let's quickly open your mic. Tell me, what is the agenda? Tell me. I want to hear from you guys. Come on, tell me quickly. What is the agenda?
Global pandemic, COVID-19.
Global pandemic, COVID-19. Yes.
Sir, agenda is actually the topic that we are going to discuss. It could be specific or it could be general.
We do have agenda, not journal. We do have a specific agenda. What it is, do you know that?
A plan towards achieving a goal.
The WHO emergency season, you mean?
No, no.
Agenda means a specific topic which we are going to discuss.
Do you guys know that
conference in this
2 days conference actually? Do you guys know what is the agenda? What is the agenda of this conference?
discussing about COVID-19.
Yes, we are discussing the pandemic COVID-19.
Well, actually, we haven't received the general background yet.
You guys are going to receive it today, but you guys know what is the agenda. Now you can see on your screen. Is anyone familiar about this poster now? Tell me. You know that we are keep mentioning that this is what we are going to discuss in our sessions. We have the agenda that is known as global pandemic COVID-19. So this is the agenda of this conference, and you guys are going to talk about the global pandemic COVID-19. So this is what the agenda. Today you are going to receive your study guide, I'm sure very soon, because it's under process for the because we don't want to make yourself very boring and just reading into that, because I know you guys are very, very new, and typically those are new to this conferences but feel boring, but it's quite interesting when you get into more and more conferences. Okay, so make sure and start researching from now onwards after this session about the global pandemic. How would you like to research? I'm going to tell you on that. So everyone knows now what is the agenda. We have the agenda is global pandemic. Let's move on. Okay, so please everyone now mute your mic. Okay, so since we have the agenda, usually or typically, I'm just adding some on top. We have two agendas when we are in different conferences, okay? But over here in this YMUN conference, we have only one agenda, and the agenda is global pandemic, COVID-19. I'm sorry if I could.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. I believe that there are some delegates who's already turned their microphones on. Maybe we could request them to kindly
Yes,
set it on
I am
off
doing.
mode. Kindly, thank you.
I am doing that. Thank you very much for making remember for everyone. I'm gonna do that. And once again, please, I've requested everyone to please mute your mics. Otherwise, I'm gonna do that. I know I did that. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for reminding me. Okay, so usually we have two agendas and we set up the agenda. That is another process. Let's move on. But in this conference, we have the set agenda. That is global pandemic COVID-19. Okay, so move on further. How would we proceed into that? So we will be having the journal speaker list. My question is, what is the journal speaker list? The journal speaker list, it's a delegate speaks for predetermined time, actually. Okay, now how it gonna start it? You're gonna start a roll call will be happen. The agenda is already there. Okay, you're gonna start with the general speaker list. Your chairperson will ask you who would like to speak into the general speaker list, or although wishing to speak into the general speaker list. Okay, it means the chairperson will ask most of on numerous occasion they will ask every single person to please put their name into the general speaker list. On the day of the conference, you will be showing a proper software. Okay, in the software, you will easily see like your name is there, who is speaking, and who is the next, who is going to speak, what time is there, what time is left, because you do have the proper pretty much time into that. That is mentioned in that it's a predetermined time. So journal speaker list, or you can say the speaker list, it's about actually declaring and showing your stances. Again, as I said, who you are the representative of your country. There is no personal opinion, there is no personal observation, there is no personal analysis into that. Whatever you are going to talk about, it will be always your country relevant. Your country thinks about it. So in the journal speaker list, you are going to talk about what your country is doing, what your country is facing issues. We have the agenda, that is the global pandemic. You are going to research about the global pandemic with regards to your country as well. Okay, so in the general speaker list is about clearing and showing your stance, like what is this stance, what is the current situation, how your country is actually acting about this particular issues. So you will be talking about that. Okay, it does have a predetermined time. Okay, like maximum the chair will give you 2 minutes. Okay, or minimum they will, it's totally you can say the discretion of your chairperson. Okay, so they will give you a proper time, a time, let's say about 2 minutes. The countdown is actually at the front of your screen. On the day of the conference, it's keep counting like how many seconds you have. Okay, and you will be addressing to the entire council on that. And in the speaker or general speaker list, you have a very, very good time. You have a more time to speak, because on the other occasion, when you will be dealing with the moderated caucuses, you have a very limited time. Okay, what is moderate caucus? It will be come after that. But in general speaker list, you have a maximum 2 minutes, or on some occasion you have, it's about the discretion of a chair. You have like about 1 minute. You have minimum 45 seconds, not actually less than 45 seconds, okay, in the general speaker list. So you have a pretty much time to speak on that. Okay, so it is the best time to lead your committee. This is very, very important, I must say that. Okay, so this is the really, really important, because you are showing the stances, you are telling the entire world what is your country is doing. Like, as I said, like I am the delegate, sorry again, not I am, I'm keep repeating, not I am. As a delegate of Canada, okay, so I would tell what Canada is doing all about, what Canada is regulating the things about the COVID-19 or any of the issue, what Canada is actually imposing some different laws and policies in order to fight against this pandemic. So it is the right time, it is a good time to telling the entire council and telling the entire conference like what is your country is doing accordingly. Okay, so move into that. Please keep writing your questions. I would open a floor to entertain the question answers as well. Okay, so please keep writing your questions. It's really, really important. Okay, if you're writing into the chat box, I'm not be able to see at this moment. I will all entertain those question answers. Okay, whether you can speak into the mic, okay, or whether you will put into the chat. Into that, I will advise you. Okay, in the general speaker list or the speaker list, actually, there is something what we call yielding. Now, what is the yielding? It is very important and you have to use it very, very productively. Okay, it is very, very important to use that. Now, what is yielding actually? There are three types of yielding. Yield to the chair. Now, what actually happened? As I said, you have 1 minute, 45 seconds, 1.5 minutes, 2 minute maximum. And if someone feels that they have not to speak on that much enough, not too much about, I mean, like you have finished your speech, between your time has, or you can say before the time has elapsed, okay? So you have to give the rest of the time to your chair. That is what we call the yielding. There are three types of yielding. I'm repeating that again. If you think you have nothing to speak on that, if you think you will be finished before the time elapsed, you have to give rest of the time. You have to yield rest of the time in a three manner. The first manner, yield back to the chair. Like, I'm going to repeat it. Like, for instance, the delegate of Canada, myself, I would say, okay, I have finished my speech. Okay, and I would say, okay, the delegate of Canada would like to yield rest of the time back to the chair. Now, delegate of Canada feels that I've spoken enough. We have spoken enough. That's all we would like to tell. But we do still have, let's say, 10 seconds, 5 seconds because of the counter is going, and we will announce the yielding. The yielding is yielding rest of the time back to the chair. That's a type one. The second one is actually yield to fellow delegates. Means you have to yield if you think that you have enough time and someone is saying to you, because this is how actually the diplomatic way out working at, like someone say, hey, if you think you have spoken enough, or if you think you don't want to speak, please yield your time to me. So because I do have plenty of things to discuss, and in 2 minutes, in 45 seconds, in 1 minute, I cannot cover what I have supposed to do. So please yield rest of the time. And this is usually you do when you are actually doing, you can say your friends, your ally countries. I will tell you how would you find, because when you are researching about your countries, you have to find out who is your ally, who is your neighboring country, who is your enemies, and which country having a good diplomatic tie-up with your country. So you have to keep notify, you have to keep researching on those things. So this is how you actually use a very diplomatically a friendly relation with your good neighboring country to yield the time to the fellow delegates. But again, if someone have requested you, then during the session you will be having a chat box, okay, like right now. In the chat box there are two options into that. It says everyone. It means you will be, whatever you would like to say, it will become at the front for everyone see, hi, greetings, something like that. But if you think you would like to privately talk with someone with respect to the conference, with respect to the norms of the conference, again, you have to respect everything, because we have the policy of 0% tolerance. We will not tolerate any kind of misbehaving any kind of personal relations that is out of the boundary of the norms of the conference, we will straight restrict you guys, we'll give you a warning, and then unfortunately, we will kick you out from this conference, because this conference is not about the personal relationship. You all are here for attending this conference. So please, you have to respect the norms and the policy of the conference. You need to speak with any of the delegate. You would like to say something like, oh, like convincing someone like we are a good neighboring countries, lobbying, use the diplomatic skills. So you have an option in the chat box. Instead of putting everyone, you have option, like say, if you would like to talk to me, my name will be coming as appear as the host of this, or the Fawad Langa. If you would like to address me personally, you will just put into my name and address, it will comes to me directly, and I will see how things is going on. So this is how you're gonna speak among yourself. It will be much, much better. Okay, I can see some of the question. Right now I'm not entertaining, but I can see there is some question like, how long will we'll be ending up by 4 o'clock? We'll be ending up because this session is actually lasting for 2 hours. Okay, in the 2 hours we'll be entertaining all the question answers and everything into that. Okay, so let's move on. So that is what we call the yield to the fellow delegate, and then move into further yield to the floor. Now, this is quite interesting one. This is quite advanced level. Like if you have any kind of a good project, like your country is doing something really amazing about COVID-19, and you would like to share that to the entire world to help each other in order to maintain a global partnership, you will say, the delegate of Canada have this project, like let's say the global partnership project, to providing an assistance, to providing the global supply, to providing the supplies of masks, N95 masks, different sanitization, and we would welcome all our neighboring countries and all. So it's just like a project, okay? The third yielding is called as the yield to the floor. So you will put that yielding into the floor, like the delegate of Canada would like to propose a project of global partnership and open the floor by yielding to the floor. So what will happen? The chair will open the floor for you guys, okay? I mean, for everyone, by raising their placard to answering the question and answering to that particular delegate. Like what is the project is all about, how it's going to work, and whatsoever. It's about like question answering. I know maybe you will not understanding, but once you will be come into the flow, definitely you will understand into the how the things going into that. Okay, so let's move on. Right after the yielding, we'll move into another major aspect. It's called the moderated caucus. So before going to the moderate caucus, I will ask everyone, if you have a quick questions, let's raise it. Please, whoever is having a question, please raise your question. Yes, Iran, I can see your raise has a hand. Please unmute your mic and raise your question. Please, quickly.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for the time. I want to ask about using placard or raise hand options. Which one that we're gonna use for the conference, because some of delegates also agree that using raise hand option, it will be better because the chair will be able to count the vote and will be easier for the chair to recognize if there is some delegates who wants to have a thing to recognize.
Well,
Thank
the
you.
thing is that you do have both of the option actually. Okay, either you can raise your hand, like some of occasion I can see Spain has raised, yourself Iran has raised the question, or I mean raising your question whatsoever, so the chair will easily recognize you. It is also a good option. However, you can also make a placard and raise it, so your chair, because as I said, like we really appreciate to keep open your camera, so we'll keep monitoring how the things going on. It looks good presentation, and try to be formal, because we have to create this. Wyman is actually would like to create the same environment that you guys are actually doing your physical conferences. So you have two options, either to make your placard or either by raising your hand, just like you had yourself right now. I hope the answer of the question. Yes, Spain. Please state your question.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Please, what is your
Hi,
question?
thank you. This is like the first time that I'm participating in a month. So I was wondering, like, what would be the mode of speaking? Like, will we be using any kind of PowerPoint presentations, or will be using like audio and video to just express our views generally? So I was wondering, what would be like the mode of speaking? Would it be more like a speech, or would it be more like a presentation?
Yes,
Thank you.
it will be the speech. Okay. There is not certain precautionary measures about making any presentation. No, not at all. You're not supposed to make any presentation, but you are supposed to make a research. Research is really, really important. In the following slides, I will explain about the research as well. And I'm sure you guys have been given the rules and procedures book and also your delegate kit. Please do read it 2 to 3 times your delegate kit. There are plenty of video links of a channel of MUN4SKILls. I have made it all those, you can say, video for you guys to explaining how you can do the research. So Spain, pertaining to your question, there is no particular presentation you would like to make it. No, not at all. You have to make a research. Once, since just like I have recognized you, like the delegate of Spain, okay, you have a floor, you can speak, and then you will address. Now, it will be like in a piece of paper, since you will be using your laptop, your iPad, or your tablet, whatever the method mode you are using to, you will be reading from that. You can read it from that, like the delegate of Spain would like to state it to the entire world on blah, blah, blah things to X, Y, Z, something like that. But there is no PowerPoint sharing, there is no screen sharing into that. However, we as the moderators, we as a chairpersons and the conference managers will also share your screen about the conference software. Okay, on the day of the conference, you will be showing, we will tell you pretty much very give example about the bit of training, very quick training about the software, how would it work, and how it's going to do that. It will be on the day of the conference. I hope the answer of your question, Spain. Okay. Again, I
Excuse
can.
me, Mr. Chair.
Sorry. Yes, Vince. You have to raise your hand, please, because I cannot
I'm
see
sorry,
you.
Mr. Chair.
It's okay.
Uh,
I am
yeah.
very sorry. I cannot entertain you until you raise your hand. Okay. I can see there is another Spain who have raised your hand. Raise your hand. I will come back to you after entertaining. I can see another guy who is representing Spain. Again, guys, I can see double delegates, Spain 1, Spain 2. As I said, we have received an amazing response. That's why we are we're dividing into two council. Council A, Council B. So it will be Spain in one Council A, definitely Spain in another Council B as well. Okay, so don't make yourself confused. All will be set up today. You will be added into your WhatsApp. Please keep refreshing your emails. Okay, if you will not find our email, just check your spam folder or your junk folder. Definitely you will find it tonight. So yes, Spain, another Spain was actually raising.
No, so thank you very much. So I just wanted to confirm that procedure of, two delegates. So you just explained it. So that should be all. Thank you.
Fair enough, sir. I'll come back to the wins, EJ and Enens. Now I can see your hand. Please ask your question. Make it quick so we can move into it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to ask about the screen sharing. Like for instance, we will be presenting our resolution. Maybe we could use the screen sharing to present so that everyone can see and everyone could scrutinize the points or the provisions that we have stated in our resolution. For instance, maybe a screen sharing is a good thing. It should be necessary, I guess, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. Well, basically, as I said, we are using the software. We have also an assistant chair who will be helping you guys as well. With regards to your resolutions, of course, your assistant chair will guide you. Definitely, you will be sending all your resolutions, all your paperwork, digital paperwork actually, to your assistant chair, and assistant chair will have the pure responsibility to taking care about the screen sharing and also allowing you whether you can use your screen sharing to project what you have put forward to the floor. So that's on the day of the conference. Don't worry about it. We will easily handle into that. Okay, I hope the answer of your question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Last question before I can move into, I can see Italy. Italy Lokinda, your question, please.
Thank you, Chair, for recognition.
Yes.
Can you get my?
Please,
Yeah.
please, go on.
Chair, but you have said that we can use either the placard option or either the raise hand option. And in addition to that, I want to ask you, so you will be able to see everyone's screen. Shouldn't we opt for only one option, as it will become stress for you? What to consider first, like raise hand option or the placard option? So it will be a little biased in that way.
Okay, before answering you, Musa, you are not being ignored. Don't worry about it. I cannot see your hand. That's why I didn't entertain. We'll entertain your question after this one. Okay. So basically, as I said, like you have both of the options. Okay. Or else on the day of the conference, our conference managers actually will be really helping you, will be taking care of all the operations matters, will be announcing you as well, be telling you that either it's better for you to raise the hand, or you'll be open your you can say camera, like your video cam. So both methods are slightly good, but on the day of the conference you'll be updated by the conference managers like which method they would like to you guys to adopt. However, be prepared for both of the methods. Try to be formal, so we will see it looks very good presentation, and also try to make paper or something like that. It looks very good because we are recording. It will be projected everywhere across the globe that how you are actually doing and progressing. So you can you can adopt both of the methods, and it's supposed to be very better, I would say. Hope the answer of the question. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Musa, I can entertain your question before I can move to the presentation. Last question before I can move into. Yes, Musa, please. What is your question?
For the opportunity. My question is this: I saw on the Facebook page as they were asking delegates for their position paper, and unfortunately, for some of us, we have not received our allocations. So how is it going to be for us?
Yes, Musa. As I did mention, by today, all allocation will be done. And please keep refreshing your emails, okay? You will be receiving the allocation. You will be receiving the official WhatsApp group of your council, which you are mandatory to join us on, okay? So after you receive your allocation, you will be working on your position paper, okay? Now, the guideline for the position paper is already been given in your delegate kit, also mentioned into the rules and procedure. Just a second. Yes, also it's mentioned in your delegate kit. There is a specific video like how and what is the role of a position paper and how you can make the position paper as well. So it will easily explain to you onto that. Hope the answer of your question, Musa. Okay, let's move to our presentation into that. We don't have enough time now, so let's move on.
Mr. Fawad, I have a question.
Is that Egypt?
Yes.
Delegate of Egypt, can we entertain your question in next session? Like, let me continue the presentation and then I'll stop and then I'll entertain other questions because I have to put forward the presentation.
Okay.
Is that okay? And I request you, sir, please raise your hand. Raise your hand before asking your question as well. Because as I said, start working now. Try to adopt the criteria of this conference. It's better. It looks very respectable manner to raise your hands. Then you will be entertained into that. Okay, let's move on to the sharing again. Okay, so back into your presentation. Okay, so it's all done. So moving into the moderate caucus, please pay attention. It is very, very important one. Let me mute your mics first of all. Please mute your mic. I have to give more time into that. Please mute your mic so no one will get disturbed into that. Please mute your mic, everyone. Let me quickly do that for you guys. All mutes and mute all mutes. Okay. Now, please do not unmute or open your mic until unless you've been asked to do so. So, what is a moderate caucus and how to raise it? Now, what is moderated caucus? Have a quickly look into that. It is called the subtopic. What is subtopic? I will explain right after this. But how to raise the moderated caucus? It's called the time. You will have the proper specific time for your moderate caucus. In the speaker list, as I said, you have the predetermined time like 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. But in moderated caucus, you have the total time and individual time. It is very important. So these parameters are very, very important. Like we have the agenda known as the global pandemic COVID-19. But what is moderate caucus? Moderate caucus is actually the subtopic of your main agenda. Okay, the subtopic of your main agenda. Okay, now what are the subtopic? Right after this slide, I'm going to explain the subtopic. So in moderate caucus, you have a time parameters, total time, individual time. It's not about like whole day, whole conference, you just talk about global pandemic, COVID-19 itself. It's a very big topic. You have to split, you have to divide, you have to slicing all those global pandemic topic into different subtopic. How? Right after this, I will tell you. Okay, there's a next slide about the subtopic, but let me give you a short statement on that. Subtopic, it means you have a history, you have the causes, you have the effective countries, you have the victim countries, you have how the different governments is. So these are the different topics of your major topic. Okay, for instance, if you talk about the history, which is known as one of the subtopic. Okay, so you will have the time parameters like total time and individual time. Please pay attention to what I'm trying to say. Individual time means every single person, like you have delegates, you have 30, 40, 50, whatever the delegates, every single delegate will speak into the individual topic. Total time, like with regards to the history of the COVID-19, okay, we are going to discuss the COVID-19 history for total time, let's say 10 minutes. It could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maximum 20 minutes. Again, it's the discretion of the chair. So let's take it, the subtopic is the history of the global pandemic. So how would you like to do that? There's a proper terminology of that. It says at the front of your screen, like the delegate of Canada would like to raise the moderated caucus subtopic, as I said, the history. With the total time, it means the delegate of Canada would like to emphasize, would like to give the entire international community, the entire committee, that we should talk about the history of this global pandemic for 20 minutes with the individual speaker time 45 seconds. Okay, now let me rephrase it or conclude it. As I said, the delegate of Canada would like to raise the moderated caucus to discuss the history of global pandemic with the total time 20 minutes, individual speaker time 45 seconds. It means the entire council will speak 20 minutes about the global pandemic, and it is not not global pandemic, my apology, will speak about the history of the global pandemic and the individual speaker time. It means not only the delegate of Canada, but we have different delegates like delegate of Iran, Afghanistan, Egypt, Spain, Italy, France, China, United States, or whoever will raise their hand after that will be recognized to speak on that with the total time of 45 seconds. Okay, I hope you understand. 45 seconds, it means individual speaker will speak on that. 20 minutes, like the total time of this subtopic, the history of the global pandemic. As I said, on the day of the conference, you will be screen shared with the software, which will be showing your total time and individual time as well. You will keep saying, and your chairperson will keep helping you on to that. Hope it clears. Now moving to that about this subtopic, okay? Like, what are the subtopic? We know that our agenda is global pandemic, okay? That is COVID-19. The subtopic is trade, how nation can tackle it, like your nations, impact of COVID-19 on economy, social, financial, geographical, diplomatically, your foreign policies, your export imports, your foreign relations actually, your neighboring relation, your cross-border relations. There are plenty of subtopics. I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say. Okay, so how can your country help to fight against COVID-19 is one of the subtopic or a sector. It is just to giving you an example. You have to keep researching, like under the umbrella of a global pandemic, what questions you would like to research and what things you would like to put forward in order to discuss into that. Again, the topic, the agenda is global pandemic. The moderated caucuses or the subtopic is at the front of you, like history, timeline, social life, economic issues, mental issues, quarantine time, how to make productive quarantine, what you can do global during this quarantine lockdown situation, mental health issues, medical issues. There are plenty of issues that you can raise as the moderated caucuses. Okay, I can see keep chatting into that, and it keeps saying into uh, like first timer, this will be great experience. Okay, if you could explain the meaning of I hope the meaning has already been stated. After some of the slide, I will open the floor for the question answering as well, so then you can raise your question into that. I'm not entertaining the question at the moment, just write it down, your question to that. So moving into more. Okay, after moderate caucus, we have another major aspect is called the moderated, sorry, the unmoderated caucus. I'm sorry, please take my apology because I'm fasting, and so my like throat is really dry right now. So apologize if I'm keep making the mistake. My apology because I'm fasting right now. Anyhow, moving into that. So what is unmoderated caucuses? It's like a temporary break. Like in the moderated caucuses, you will be having a very formal discussion. You will only allowed when you will be allowed to speak, when you will be allowed to spoken, when you are told to spoken actually. Otherwise, you cannot speak until unless you've been recognized. But in unmoderated caucuses, it will be a temporary break. You can speak, you can raise the questions, you can talk among your delegates, okay? You can talk into that. It's like a temporary research, it's like a temporary break of about your different formal proceedings. It's called a temporary break. Usually unmoderated caucuses you do in physical conferences, like you get up from your chairs, you just move in your rooms, you do visits your ally countries, you do talk about the policies. But in these e-conferences, we will be giving you a time which you will be easily, you can say, talk among yourself. Your assistant committee director will be helping, will be moderating you during unmoderated caucuses and giving floors what to speak and how you can do that. Again, you will be having the chat option, a private chat option always to speak with your ally countries, or at least to whom you want to speak, which is called as a diplomatic way out to speak onto that. So In unmoderated caucuses, there will be no formal proceedings. You can speak, okay? But in e-conferences, your assistant chair will actually moderate into that, and you will work on to accordingly, okay? Now, moving into the next phase, in the unmoderated caucuses, okay, you have the time parameters. You have only the total time. There is no individual time. It doesn't say like only delegate of Canada, Spain, Iran, Afghanistan, Egypt, blah, blah, blah countries only speak for 20 seconds. No, you will have a proper entire time of this moderate caucus. Like the unmoderate caucus will be with having the total time. Like how? I'm gonna tell you. With the same kind of a statement, it says the delegate of Canada, because you have to raise this motion. You cannot just jump into the unmoderate caucus until unless you will raise. Just like in moderate caucus, you have to raise when your chairperson will ask you, are there any points and motions? The points will coming on later on. What are the motions right now? The motion is moderate caucuses. The motion is actually the unmoderate caucuses. Okay, these are the motions. So you will be asked by your chairpersons, are there any points or motions? Then you can raise your hands, you can raise your placard to raise your motion. To raise or how to raise the unmoderated caucuses, here is a statement. It says, the delegate of Canada would like to raise an unmoderated caucus with the total time of 20 minutes. As I said, in the unmoderated caucuses, you have only the total time. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and in fact, in moderate caucus, on numerous occasions, you have half an hour as well when it comes to making the resolutions. Okay, so again, it's the discretion of the chair. Okay, so how you can use this unmoderated caucuses very, very productively. I can see pretty much about questions into that. So let's move into the questions very quickly before I can, or let's have this plan, because these 9 rules really helping you, like how you can use this unmoderated caucus. Then after, please write down your questions. I will entertain the questions after this slide. Okay, so 9 rules for the unmoderated caucus, which is really important. Okay, so the first rule says about plan in mind. You should have plan in your mind what you would like to do in this unmoderated caucus, because as I said, in unmoderated caucus you are free to speak. There will be no you can say formal proceedings, so you have to keep noting down, okay, when the unmod comes, I will address directly to this delegate, I will address to the council, like this is my plan, how we can fight against this COVID. You can easily explain. So you should have a plan in your mind. Okay, you have to keep working into that. Identify your enemy. Don't take it offense. It's about identifying those countries who are actually against your country. Again, you have to research about your foreign relations. You have to research about your diplomatic relations, in which you have to identify who is your enemy, who is your allies actually. So it is very important. Okay, and find your allies. As I said, you have to research and then find out. And then in unmod, you have to speak with your allies. And then in the chat as well, private chat, you have to keep saying, like, say, okay, see, we are allies. We have to work into that. We can, like, perhaps you can make your own blog, like excuse me, like African Union, like OIC, like G20, G24, island countries union, something like that. So you have to make your own union as well. You can make it like that. So this is how actually the ally, your friendship relation, your diplomatic relation works into that. Okay. Look out for the neutrals. It is very important. Like in order, because you can make your blogs actually. Okay. So when it comes to the blogs, you have to make your blogs. So you have to make your allies into that and try to seek the neutrals. Neutral means neither they are in favor nor they are against. They are neutral. They will be happily accept the things and they will be fine into that. So you have to work into and to find out who are actually neutral on this particular topic. Okay. And then negotiations and lobbying It is very, very important. You have to keep lobbying. You have to keep doing the negotiations. Like we have to do this, we have to adopt, you have to come up with different solutions. Solutions is always help you to propose the negotiation, to do the lobbying actually. Okay, you can do this in unmoderated caucuses actually. Okay, listen and don't interrupt. It is very, very important because it creates a good reputation between the member states that you're respecting someone, you're allowing someone to speak on that. It's not just like you just keep saying and not allowing others to speak on that. So you have to listen to others, do not interrupt, and give the chance to speak others as well. Okay, lead the block, make plenty of solutions, keep proposing the solution. Like as a delegate, we would like to put forward this thing, we would like to work into that, we would like to help the community, we would like to propose these solutions into that. This is how actually it works. Okay, to lead the block. And then after, provide solutions and framework. As I said, it is the key for blocking. It is the key to helping to the topic. Because if you just keep blaming, if you keep attacking, you will be just moving round the circle. There will be no solutions. There will be no productive. You will be just moving into the round circle. So you have to keep providing the solutions. Okay, and last and the very important thing, act as a diplomat. National interest, national sovereignty, your country point of view, your foreign policy, your diplomacy is very, very important. You are not allowed to go against your own country. Please, that's what I said. Act as a diplomat. You have to be certain of that. So these are the rules of unmoderated caucuses. Okay, so now I can again open the floor for the questions answer. I'm stopping the sharing of the screen, and please, in order to recognize yourself, you have to raise your hand. I can see the first hand is Iran. Yes, Iran, what is your question, please?
Thank you for the answer, sir. So I want to ask, what are the basis of creating a blog?
I
Is it
am very
related?
sorry to intervene, Iran. I'm sorry, I cannot hear you properly. Can you repeat that for me again?
Okay. Thank you, sir, for recognizing, sir. I want to ask, what are the basis of creating a blog? Is it related to political things or more like related to the same goals that we want to achieve? That's the first question. And the second question is the resolution paper should contain all the things that we discussed in moderated focus?
Okay.
Thank you.
Answer to your, you're welcome, Iran. Answer to your first question. Basically, usually it's not necessary to create a blog, but when you have to work as a team, and that is what is the essence of the model United Nations, that helps you and teaches you to work as a team. And again, when it comes to act as a diplomat, diplomat always put forward the national interest as well as always work with your country mates, always work with your friendly relation countries, with your neighboring countries who, if they are your allies actually. So I would personally suggest to make the blocks, okay, to make you can say good lobbying, because how you can do the lobbying, like such as like you can make a Muslim blocks, you can make the European bloc, you can make the African Union, you can make the OIC, or you can make the G20, or you can make a neutral bloc, any of the bloc. Reason why? Because every motion means like as the delegate of Canada would like to raise a motion to discuss effective country. Okay, so it is not about like I've raised this motion, it will be selected. No, the chair will ask the voting. As I said in the beginning, that every single country have a one right to vote. You have to raise your hand, you have to raise your placard to recognize, to cast your vote. In the beginning, I did say it's about the roll call, present and voting. So that particular vote actually that you will be costing whether you want to speak on that particular subtopic, on that particular moderated caucus or not. If you don't want to, you are not obliged to raise your placard. I'm telling you, you are not obliged to raise the placard to support that particular motion. Okay, so this is how actually your block members, your block helpful, because you will be working as a team. You will be asking every single of your ally country that please help on this. We should raise this issue because it is the major issue. So when it comes to the block, because you will be working as a one community, you will be working as a one family, as a one block. Okay, so all of them will be listened to you. All of them will listen to raise their flag. Every motion, again I'm repeating, in the procedural method, every motion needs the simple majority. Reason why the roll call conducts, because we will see how many people are present, and then we will see the simple majority. For instance, we have 30 people in the council. The simple majority will be 16. Okay, so it means in order to pass any of the subtopic or any of the motion or any of the moderated caucus, actually you need a simple majority, because the chair will ask you, although wishing to support that motion. For instance, like as a delegate of Canada have raised the motion to discuss the history. Okay, the chair will say, okay, the delegate of Canada have raised the motion to discuss the history of this global pandemic. Although wishing to support that motion, may raise your placard. Then everyone will raise your placard, and then your assistant chair will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in your cameras, 5, 6. Okay, if that particular motion will having less than the simple majority, the motion will be fails. Then the second motion will be entertained. The another delegate will raise another topic. Okay, another subtopic. Now the agenda, another subtopic. Could be effect, could be rights, could be medical influence, whatsoever what we have discussed. Okay, I hope it clears to you. So everything is depends upon your vote, upon your simple majority. That is why it is highly recommended to create your blocks, because your block member will keep supporting you, your motions, and you will be easily able to put forward your point of view, your perspective. Because as I said, the international community have depend upon the majority vote. You have to work as a team, you have to work as a diplomat. That is very necessary. Now, answer to your second question about the position paper. In the position paper, actually, you have to do research about your country. Please have a look, because I cannot explain. It is another, it does mention in your delegate kit. There is a link of the video as well that clearly says like what is position paper, how you can make your position paper. Okay, so position paper will help to understand your country stances. It will help you to understand, actually it will really help you to understand about it. Okay, like the stance of your country, very very important. Okay, cheers.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry guys, because as I said that I'm fasting and my throat is really really dry at the moment, so I have to take a couple of second break to take myself relax. Okay, so another question. Thank you very much, Iran, for your question. Okay, now yes, Vince, your question quickly, please please please. Question.
Hello, sir. Thank you so much. I would like to ask if how many motions are we going to make, since that, considering the time constraint?
Okay, usually the best practices is that in every occasion the chair will ask the three motions, but again it's a discretion of the chair. How? Like first of all, the delegate of Canada has been recognized, and the delegate of Canada have raised a motion to discuss the history. The chair will ask, are there any other points of motions? Maybe yourself wins when you will be allocated a country, any of the country. For instance, take it Pakistan. So the delegate of Pakistan will raise a motion, maybe to talk about the medical effects. Then chair will ask again, are there any points or motions on the floor? Then maybe the delegate of Iran raise another motion. Okay, so logically, three motions will be on table. On the discretion of the chair, which will be the more important one, more destructive one, more important according to the scenario, the chair will put that particular motion into the vote, and the entire international community will vote into that, and that particular motion will be passed. This is how the motion will pass, okay, with the simple majority. Now, over to your question, how many motions? Again, there is no limitation at all. You have 2 days of conference. You can raise as much as you can. Okay. Now those motions, of course, because at the end of the day, after having those subtopics, you have to work on your working paper as well as you have to work on your draft resolution as well. So it is very, very important to raise as maximum as productive motions. Okay. And then your moderators, your chairperson will guide you accordingly for your resolutions, your working paper, and guiding, since as I said, like most of them are actually very, very new. So your chair are very well helpful to you guys. They will be keep guiding you. Your assistant chair keep helping you into that. Okay, hope the answer of your question. I'll be entertaining two more questions.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Vince. Two more questions. Uganda, followed by Italy. Looking there. Okay. Yes, Uganda, your question.
Thank you so much, sir. Considering me as the delegate of Uganda, is the moderated caucus raised by me supposed to be specific to the government of Uganda, or it can be a global topic? Then additionally, as a first timer on the moon, what is the end result of this moon? Are these issues going to be further escalated to a higher body, or is it for purposes of the discussion? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Uganda. Very important question. I appreciate that. Okay, first of all, about your question, see, you're going to do two types of research. A research as a delegate of Uganda, particularly to the COVID-19. Second, as the member state of the United Nations, you having the responsibility to help the world. You have the responsibility to put forward the great solution against this COVID-19. So it means you have to do both things, as a Ugandan perspective as well as a general perspective. Not always to put forward the Ugandan perspective, otherwise you will be just moving circle in circle. You have to say with the perspective of Uganda, as well as you have to say with the perspective as the member of international community, as a member of the United Nations as well. When it comes to the research, please go to your delegate kit that you have already been given to you, okay? In which you have been given a proper direction how you can do the research. Not particular to Uganda, but to entire people who are listening to me right now, please do not always go with the country perspective. You have to do a global partnership level. You have to tell the international people like, we would like to support this thing. We as the member of the international community and the United Nations, and put forward the solution in order to end this global pandemic. Answer to your second question. These model United Nations conferences are actually on the basis of the academics to make you learn about what the United Nations actually does, how you can actually work as the diplomat. Apart from that, there are plenty of other skills as well that you could earn from it. You can say, if you have subscribed the channel of MUN4SKILls, I have recently conducted the concept development session about the model United Nations. Have a look into that session, okay? It will tell you like what benefits you can get it. Doesn't matter you're a student of politics, you're a student of international relations, you're a student of journalism, doesn't matter. Either even if you are a student of doctor or philosopher or XYZ, this Model United Nation conference really helps you. Just watch that concept develop session. It will help you to do that. Now come to your last question about like, does this put forward to the higher authority or not? Well, if you have seen the schedule of this conference, on the day one, the you can say High Commission for Refugees, UNHCR communication strategist. She is joining us as the chief guest. She will be addressing. So your resolution, the resolution of YMUN will be presented to them because we have to report them because they are supporting us. Okay, so we will present them and they will see how these member of youth, how these international community youth and the professional is actually working by adopting the status, by adopting the scripture of the Model United Nation and constructing this draft resolution. So we are putting forward your resolution to UNHCR to see how you guys have did that. So Italy, last question. Hope the answer of your question. Uganda, Italy, your question will be last. Then we'll take 30-second break to make myself a bit relaxed, and then move to our presentation. Presentation is very less now, mainly session. Important things, and then we'll be adding to our session. Yes, Italy, quickly, please.
Chair, as you know that we have only WHO committee here. So as you told us that particularly in the subs we can discuss the history aspect, the economics aspect. So the economic aspect, isn't it goes against the WHO committee, or like it's in the sub in the WHO?
Okay, we didn't say it's a particularly WHO. Okay, it's a WHO emergency session. Okay, and of course the agenda is a global pandemic. It's a global pandemic of COVID-19. So whatever the issues that comes under the shelter of a global pandemic, you have to put forward. And let me remind you, WHO is at the moment is also put forward their monitoring onto the country's economical conditions at the moment, because the funding, the different kind of fundings from different member states are actually coming, and WHO is actually funding and put forward their emergencies. You can say their activities. Why? On the respective of the economical and the financial condition of the different countries. So you can speak about the session. And as I said, it's an emergency session, particularly focused on the global pandemic, so you can raise it. And those issues that I did use as an example, you all are not restricted to do only onto that. You can do more into that. Your study guide will be giving, okay, to you. You will be giving a different aspect that you are going to research into that. As I said, it's a big agenda, global pandemic. Whatever the issues, whatever the causes, whatever the solutions you can put forward, you have to raise into that. Okay.
And so we can add this economic aspects into the draft resolution as well.
Yes, indeed. Whatever you are discussing in your committee session, I'm telling you, it has to be put forward into your working paper as well as in your draft resolution. How the draft resolution will be constructed and the working paper, your committee chair will guide into that. Hope the answer of your question. Is that all, Italy?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's fine. No more questions before I can move into that. Let me just quickly have some important. I can see.
I'm sorry. I have a question.
Yes, Crown. Yes, Mr. Crown. Yes, please. Yes. Is there any question, please?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ambassador. And I want to appreciate you for this great move. And I'm sorry, this will be my first time of making use of this Zoom application. And please, my question goes thus. I am a delegate representing Nigeria. So am I to speak on the pandemic issue in Nigeria, or probably because we have a whole lot of issues happening right now in Nigeria that is eating to the world at large. So I think, am I allowed to kind of share what we're facing in this part of the world? on the electronic conference. Am I allowed to do that?
Yes, sir. Okay. I guess because you have missed the session
That's my question.
from the beginning, we'll be put this recording on our Facebook pages, of course, so you can easily see that. Okay, we'll be put this recording into the YouTube channel. You can keep hear what I said. As I said, you can do two types of research. First, in your case, as a delegate of Nigeria, you have to do research like what is Nigeria is facing.
Okay.
And the second, how as the Nigeria, as the member of the global community, as the member state of the United Nations, will help the entire world in order to fight against this global pandemic. Sir, we have given you the delegate kit actually. Read that delegate kit. It will help you to make the research. It will really help you to make the research about the Nigeria, about you can say the global issues, about how you can focus specifically onto that. Hope the answer of your question. Okay, is that clear to you?
All right.
Okay, so give me.
Okay.
No more questions at the moment. Keep it now for the last session for the question answering. Okay, just give me 10 seconds break to get myself better relaxed because it's really soaring and really dry. Just give me 10 seconds, okay? We'll be back in 10 seconds, okay? Just 10-second break.
Ten seconds. 10 seconds.1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Just let the chair break, guys. I think he's really tired.
I believe he's tired because of the too much talking without taking a pace.
Yeah, and the fasting too.
Oh yeah. So hello everyone.
Hi
How are you
guys.
guys? Hi.
Hi. I'm looking forward to
Sorry.
discuss with you guys. I'm excited with this MUN.
Same. So my name is still on the screen because I haven't received my allocated country yet. I'm still waiting for the email.
Yeah,
I'm
I
so
wish
excited to
that.
receive
Okay,
the
yes.
country.
Who was actually
Okay.
counting, by the way? Am I behind? Who was counting?
Mike, actually, who's counting?
Michael.
Mike.
Mike.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, well, I just need like a bit of break. Hope you guys don't mind. Okay. Yes, I was just in between to hear about the question. Delegate events, you will receive it. Even all of you,
Hello,
whoever,
Mike. Hello.
who all of you will receive your
Yeah.
country allocation who have not received today. Okay, will receive it by today, and with the you can say WhatsApp group as well, with your WhatsApp group as well. So it is
Noted,
very
Mr. Chair.
okay. So let's move on to. Is there any question before we can
please ask them to open their mic cameras.
Okay. Please, we have our conference manager among with us. I would request everyone to please open their mic because it's part of a presentation. And as I said, the instruction has just came across from the conference manager. So please follow everyone. Mr. Zishan, can I make you host so you will be controlling every single thing from now onwards?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, it's okay. I can make into that. Okay, everyone, please raise your. Oh, sorry, please open your mic. I'm sorry, my mind is not working. Okay, so Zishan, I am making you the host now. Actually, if I make you a host, then unfortunately, will you will not. I mean, I will. The recording will be stopped then. Fair enough. Okay, let's move our session now. Moving into that, please open your cameras so it will be better because that's requested by our conference manager. Okay, moving into that, after the moderated and unmoderated caucuses, we will be having everyone please mute your mic. I'm not entertaining any questions at the moment. Now it will be right after this session, actually, right after the presentation. Let me quickly unmute all those mic. Okay, so after this moderated and unmoderated caucus, we'll be moving into the return to the speaker list actually. Like once we'll be completing the moderated caucuses, enough moderated caucuses, enough unmoderated caucuses, and you have created your resolutions of paper actually, your different papers. What are those? Your chairs will explain. And how does it works? Your moderator will work on the conference day. Okay, so but these will all these activities will all come during the moderated as well as the unmoderated caucuses. What kind of you can say those documentation? The working paper is actually the informal copy of your resolution, okay? And then moving into that working paper is actually lead you to your draft resolution, and then draft resolution will lead you to your resolution paper, okay? Working paper is actually whatever you have spoken, whatever you have debated, negotiated, whatsoever you did, okay, during your committee session, it will become into a working paper. And then there are some formal procedures, formal structure, preamble clauses, operative clauses, okay? Your chairperson will guide you, your assistant chair will easily help you into that. Then when you put into that, after that resolution, draft resolution will put into the vote, okay? If you remember about the substantial matters, from this draft resolution, okay, the substantial voting will start. Before the draft resolution aspect, all those voting is actually known as the procedural matters. Remind these things to yourself, okay? We have two kind of matters, procedural matters and substantial matters. All those matters before the draft resolutions actually are the procedural matters. After draft resolution, whatever the matters remain, whatever the things are remain are known as the substantial matters. Okay. Now, moving into further, you'll return to your speak, closure of debate. What will happen after that? Okay. After that, once you will have the resolution on board, you will have enough consensus, very constructive resolution, you will move to the closure of debate. You will move to the closure of the conference as well, like the last day. You will be having the closure of debate. Now, what is the closure of debate? Closure of debate entertains two speakers in favor, two speakers against, okay? Now, two speakers in favor means those people, those countries actually, who are in favor, that says, okay, we had enough debate, we have managed to cover all those important aspects of the global pandemic COVID-19, let's move on to passing the resolution. So two countries in favor, but there will be two speaker against. Definitely there will be two favor, two against, because it is the rules and procedure, or else it will be one favor or one against, depends upon the jurisdiction or depends upon the discretion of the committee chair, okay? Favor will say, okay, we are fine, we have done our level best, we have constructed a very good draft resolution, how to handle this global pandemic. The against will say, no, there are plenty of things that still remain. we have to cover all those areas before we can vote to the resolution, and that particular resolution paper is not enough to address the global issue. Some occasion, because of the time constraints, okay, again, I mean, you will not be able to cover the entire topic, but merely you will cover the entire topic, okay? But those favor and against is actually the formalities, okay? So this is how actually it works. Okay, after this two speaker in favor, two speaker in against, the chair will ask the motion for the closure of debate. I mean, the motion has already been entertained. Like any of the speaker will have raised the closure of debate, okay, which automatically allow two speaker in favor, two speaker in against. After chair will hear both the speaker in favor, both the speaker against, the chair will put that motion into the vote. And remember, that voting procedure needs 2/3 majority. Not the simple majority, as I said, in other motions, in rest of the motions. It needs 2/3 majority. It means the total 30 people strength, for instance, the 2/3 majority of the 30 will raise the placard. If they raise it, they will move to the closure of debate. And unfortunately, if they have not get the 2/3 majority, will jump out again with the two speakers in favor and two speakers against in order to move to the closure of debate. Once this 2/3 majority is passed, okay, we will jump into the last phase, is called the amendments. Means the resolution will be having, okay, we will debate, we did all this debate on that, we did moderate caucus, we did unmoderated caucus, we have constructed the resolution, and then we move into the closure of debate, okay? The basic idea behind the closure of debate that there is nothing to discuss anymore. Let's move on to the amendments, let's move on to the draft resolution voting. Now, in the amendments, if you think that needs to be added into the draft resolution which has been put forward by the international committee, we will put it to that. There are two types of the amendments. First amendment is the friendly amendment. Second amendment is the non-friendly amendment. Okay, let me just make it, bear with me. Hold on a second. Yeah, okay. What is friendly amendments? Friendly amendments, like, because every resolution have the sponsors as well as the, you can say, the writers of that resolution, or consider as the sponsor, okay? The sponsors actually the main writer, the main creator of that particular resolution. If there is a friendly amendment, okay, means you have created any amendments and you would like to propose this amendment, okay, to be considered as the friendly and non-friendly amendments. The writer, the sponsor of the amendment, the draft resolution, my apology, will have to consider it. If they happily accept that particular amendment, it will be known as the friendly amendment, okay? The sponsors, okay? If they happily accept, the writer of the resolution, if they happily accept that particular amendment, it will be considered as the friendly amendment. If they say, no, we will not accepting this amendment, it will be automatically considered as the non-friendly amendments. Now, there is a way for the non-friendly amendments. In the non-friendly amendments, you will put forward that non-friendly amendments. Remember, every amendment will have to submit to the chair. Okay, you will be submitting in your chat box. You will be either submitting in a small word paper, and just because your assistant committee director will be helping you with all those paperwork, with all your notepad and something like that. So they will be handling all those things into that. But considering what is the major difference between the friendly amendments and non-friendly amendments, if the writer and the sponsor are happily accept that amendment to be added into the draft resolution, they will accept it happily. It will be considered the friendly amendment. However, if they don't consider it, it will be put into the vote. Now, what is the procedure? That particular amendment paper needs to have 5 signatories. Now, what are the signatories? Remember, in the draft resolution, you have the writers, the sponsors, as well as you have the signatories. Okay, the chair will announce how many signatories does it need. Sponsors actually those who create that paper. Signatories doesn't mean that you are in favor of the entire resolution. That means actually you would like to discuss that particular resolution or that particular amendment. So in the amendments, non-friendly amendments, whoever put forward that amendment should have 5 signatories. It means that you have to ask to the other block members, other people, for instance, on Canada, I will ask like USA, New Zealand, Australia, can you be the signatory of that particular amendment? Because it is necessary to have 5 signatories of that non-friendly amendments in order to be put forward onto the vote. Once the 5 signatory will come on board, the chair will read and put forward onto the voting. And that amendments require the 2/3 majority, okay, of the voting to be added into the draft resolution. Hope you have understand the friendly and non-friendly amendments, what is all about. Let's move forward because we don't have enough time now. Okay, so voting procedures, because once you have finished the amendments, okay, you have to move into the voting procedures of the draft resolution. Okay, so you can see on your screen you have different kind of voting by placard methods. The chair will ask the method, which method are we going to follow. On numerous occasions the chair will use the discretion. Voting card method is actually you will raise your placard like when the resolution will come on board, the chair will announce that although in favor to vote on the draft resolution, let's say 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, they will write it down accordingly because there will be more than one resolution on board. It is possible. Or the entire international community, the entire committee will work onto one resolution. It's up to you guys, and your chair will helping in that. So voting by placard method, the chair will ask, okay, all the wishing to support that resolution, let's say 1.1, please may raise a placard. So you will be showing your placard on your screens, on your camera, that we are in favor. They will be counting. It needs the majority to be passed into that, actually the 2/3 majority to pass that resolution. Once there is a 2/3 majority, it will be passed. In case if it's failed, okay, we'll automatically move to another resolution if available. If not, the resolution will fail. There will be no consensus, unfortunately. Okay. Roll call method, it means that the chair will ask again the present voting methods, like people will ask like, the chairperson will ask you about like, let's say in an alphabetical manner or unalphabetical manner, let's say delegate of Iran, the delegate of Iran will say yes, or delegate of Spain will say yes, or will say no, or will say yes with rights, no with rights. That is called the roll call method. Now what is yes? It means you're totally agree with the draft resolution. Yes with right, it means you're agree with the draft resolution, but you need you should be given a proper time, let's say 30 seconds, to justify your vote, like why you are agree with this draft resolution. Okay, so it is really necessary. Okay, when it comes to yes with rights, okay, yes, you're totally agree, you don't want to say, you have said yes, you are happy with this resolution. Yes with rights, you will giving a time to justify your words, like why you think this resolution is important, why you think this resolution is very much like covering all those issues. Third one, no, it means you're totally against. You think that this resolution is totally cram. It's nothing. It's not covering the areas. You're casting your vote against. No with rights, you said against totally, but the chairman should allow you a time to justify your vote, that why you think that this resolution is not good. So these are the two methods, okay? Placard method and roll call method. In the roll call method, you have 4 types as well. Yes, yes with rights, no, no with rights. So that is the voting procedures. Okay, move into the last perspectives. Okay, the resolutions, you will This is okay. This is how you get the resolution. This is how you actually get the entire flow of debate and how you actually move into that. Now, there are some different aspects of this conference as well. Motions and the positions. Okay, what are the motions? Motion that we have already discussed, like speakers list, uh, journal speaker list, moderate caucus, unmoderated caucus, introducing your draft resolution, introducing your working paper. These all are your, you can say, your resolution, sorry, your motions. Like if you can see on your screen, it says like motion for moderated, unmoderated, introducing, voting, or whatsoever. There are plenty of motions. Your chair will actually guiding you into that. But there's another aspect called the points. Now, points is actually point of personal privilege, point of order, point of parliamentary inquiry, point of information. Now, during the conference, if certain things happen, like for instance, you need a break, you need to go to use the restroom, you need a bit time to just to get content, because again, you keep debating, you're debating, you're debating, you're debating, you get frustrated. You need a bit time, just get yourself relaxed, just bring something to eat. You need to move from your chair. Okay, you will use point of personal privilege. Again, you have to raise your hand, you have to raise your placard. Okay, the chair will recognize, okay, and will ask, is there any points of motion? And you will say, it's a point. What is a point? Point of personal privilege. And you will say, okay, point of personal privilege, you need to go, whatever is your, anything that could have your personal use, your personal needs, you need to go like for just very quick break, not longer, not in hours and hours, because we keep monitoring who is there, who is not there. Okay, it is very necessary. So that is what we call the personal privilege. Point of order, if for instance the chairperson have mistakenly use any wrong rules and procedure, then you can raise this point of order. At the end of the day, the chairperson is also human. Okay, so they can make the mistakes. Doesn't matter. Even after having the 11 years of experience of Model UN, at this stage I do make mistakes because I'm a human. So in order to make accurate all those rules and procedures, do read your rules and procedure. We have already provided you the rules and procedures. Okay, it's clearly mentioned into that. If you think that the chairperson is not following proper rules and procedure, you can raise the point of order. By raising, the way for raising is simply by raising your placard in your camera. Okay, once you will do that, easily your chair will recognize it easily and will ask, is there any point of motion? You will say either point of personal privilege or either point of order. If it's point of order, then you can say, okay, the delegate of Canada believe and thinks that this particular rule supposed to be there. Then the chair will help you to tell you what is good, what is wrong, what is right. It doesn't matter. So it's a point. Okay, so point of order. Whenever chairperson or the joint member will conduct any mistake in the rules and procedure, it doesn't matter. Okay, and then point of parliamentary inquiry. It is about, it is actually the same point of information or point of parliamentary inquiry. It's pretty much the same, but there's a slightly difference in that. Point of parliamentary inquiry is actually, for instance, if you didn't understand the motion, someone have raised a motion. If you didn't understand what someone is saying, if someone is going out of the topic, you will apparently had the right to raise a point of parliamentary inquiry and stated to the chairperson, this fellow delegate was not on the topic. That is a point of parliamentary inquiry. This particular delegate is not audible. This particular delegate was actually not according to the topic. So these are the point of inquiry. In the point of parliamentary inquiry will also raise, like, if you don't understand anything, if you want to ask anything about the moderate caucus, about the unmoderated caucus, about the voting procedures, about the personal privilege, about the point of order, whatever the issues you have a proper point called point of parliamentary inquiry. You can raise it and then you can ask to them. Similarly, it's just like the same point of information. You can raise a point of information to your chair. The chair will entertain it and then you can easily raise all those points into that, to raising any question, any queries into that. So these are points and motions. Okay, very important point. It's called the right of reply. Okay, the right of reply, quickly, it is something like when someone directly attacking to your country's sovereignty and integrity. Okay, like someone has actually blamed you by quoting your name of a country, means like the USA did this, the Israel did this, the North Korea did this, the China did this, the India did this. So it hits the country's integrity. It hits the country's sovereignty. So everyone have the right to save their country's stances, to save their country's sovereignty. Okay, you can raise the point of right of reply. It's called the right of reply. You cannot raise just like that. Okay, the way out is actually you have to approach to the dice member with the chat box, private chat box actually, addressed to the chair. Okay, the chair, on this occasion, on this statement, the delegate XYZ has directly attacked to the sovereignty of my country, to the sovereignty and the integrity of my country. So we believe as a delegate that we should have a right of reply. So once the chair will see that note, will feel, yes, it was an occasion that the sovereignty and the integrity of that particular country has been violated by the fellow delegate, will give the chance of 30 seconds to put forward the right of reply and state it and tell to the council that no one has allowed to direct attack on the sovereignty and the integrity, and no one have the permission to violate the sovereignty and the integrity of the country. So that is what we call the right of reply. Again, there is no right of reply after right of reply. Like for instance, if North Korea has attacked to the USA, and USA has used the right of reply, okay, and then stated, and then apparently North Korea have raised the right of reply after that. No, it is not possible. You cannot raise right of reply after right of reply, okay? So it's not. Right of reply can only be used one time by that particular fellow delegate, not by this again and again. There is no right of reply back to back. There is no right of reply right after the right of reply, okay? Hope the answer of that particular statement as well. Let's move further. Pre-conference. Now we are moving to the conclusion. Please do remind yourself about these things. What is position and how to make it, okay? Do read your delegate kit. It clearly says about that, okay? What is position, how to make the position paper, okay? The position paper is always about your country perspective, and that country perspective is actually easily be addressed during the general speaker list actually, okay? So have a look to your delegate guide kit, okay? There is a you can say a link of that video. That video will explain how to make that position paper and how to make it and what you need to put into that. Again, those who have not been allocated will be allocated by today. Keep refreshing your emails. You will receive the email about your allocation, about your committee group as well, okay? About the question of how to start, where to start, what to start, as again, research is the key to conquer in this conference. How to do that? Please refer to your delegate kit. The delegate kit, we have already given to you the delegate kit. Please, please, please have a look into the delegate kit. After that, I'm gonna show you the delegate, how does it look like. We have already sent to you. All those delegates who have been allocated have already been provided the delegate kit. Those who remain are yet to receive their allocations. Will be providing you those delegate kit as well as the rules and procedure. In the rules and procedure, there is you can say a template of that position paper, like how does the position paper look like, how does the draft resolution look like. Everything is there, okay? And then who are your who are my allies? You have to research. In the delegate kit, it's clearly mentioned about how to research of your country, how to research of in general about the topic. When you're researching about the country, you have to see your your allies, your diplomatic relations, your foreign alliances, your foreign boundaries and whatsoever. Who are your enemies, like who are against your instances? You have to find who are the neutrals. You have to find that who are my neighbor countries. All very, very important. Which country have my diplomatic relations? Why does my, I mean, sorry, there is a mistake. It's not why, it's what does my constitution says. My apology. The statement is, what does my constitution says? Just read your constitution. It is very, very important, because this is how you can refer in your committee sessions about the country's constitution. It is really important. Okay, how is my foreign policy act? And according to what, you have to see your foreign policies. That's all for all, you can say, your presentation about how you can process. We'll be entertaining the questions right after that. Don't forget to subscribe the channel MUN4SKILLS, which is actually the conference partner, the training partner of World Youth International Model United Nations. There are plenty of videos have been uploaded on this particular channel, especially about the concept development of this model UN, especially about mods and mods, how you can use this mod, how productively do that, how you can make it, all of these, it's everything is into that. Okay, I am moving into the question answering now. And once again, thank you so much to be the part of YMUN. Again, right now we have a plenty of delegates who have registered but have not sealed their position because they have not paid. So right after this session, please, you can contact me. I can, in the chat box, I can give my WhatsApp number, okay? You can contact me if you're facing any kind of a problem with your payment of fees. I can help you to find out the ways I can help you, whatever the best I can say in order to confirm your slot to be the delegate, the confirmed delegate of this conference. So I hope to see you guys on Saturday and Sunday. Don't forget to attend the opening ceremony, because the opening ceremony is going to be very nice, because we will be having the chief guest from the UNHCR, okay? On the day one, we have a very interactive session about the COVID-19, the frontliners, okay? The people who are actually the frontliners, they are going to give the live example. They are going to share their experience, like how being a frontliners, they are facing those issues. So you can raise the question answer. They will be telling different remedies and so on. Okay, that's all for the session of the screen sharing related to the presentation. Now I'm opening the question answering. Before I can do that, I can quickly have a look your chat box. I've been asked to put my WhatsApp number in order to help you. Just bear with me. I can give my WhatsApp number. It's +447424173553. That's my WhatsApp number. Please get in touch with me if you are if you have not paid your registration fees, if you have not sealed your to be the confirmed delegate. Okay, let's move on to the question answering. I'm gonna start with the raise hand. I can see Afghanistan. Yes, Afghanistan, what is your question? Let's move on.
Hello, Mr. Fawad. I was asking about, can you give me some more information about the position paper? And I heard that it's very necessary to upload it or send it by email.
It is very, very important actually to have your position paper, and because it is necessary, and it's a company policy, it's a conference policy actually, that to have the position paper. So you have to do that. As I said, because it's a quite broad topic, please refer to your delegate kit. How does your delegate kit looks like? Let me just quickly show to you guys. Let me quickly do that. Please check your emails. We have already showed to you. This is the delegate kit looks like, okay? Your delegate kit, it shows everything, the concept. I've given you everything about the definition. of the model UN. It is also about that how you can understand about the conference and about the position paper. You can learn about the study guide. You can learn about the research aspect. You can learn about how to make the position paper. That MUN4SKILL page actually, sorry, that channel will have different videos. It does have the video about how to make the position paper, and also refer to your rules and procedure. Okay, we have given you the rules and procedure. We have the template of position paper about the rules and procedure. So you will find the template of these rules and procedure. How does it looks like in the delegate kit? It clearly says about, you can see the Charter of the UN, the United Nations official website, the declaration, some different, and in fact, some website that could help you to work on your country research as well. This is what your your rules and procedures actually. Okay, you can see the rules and procedure of the e-conference. We have already emailed you. You can find everything into that, So please have a look into that. Okay, and then you will find into that. Okay, so hope the answer to your question. Thank you very much. I can see. Yes, when's your question, please?
Okay, Safiullah Afzali.
Sorry, I'll come into that, Safiola. Vince, do you have any question? Because I can see your hand is raised actually.
Oh, yes, Mr. Chair. I would like to ask regarding the roll call. The delegates were actually have the option to be present and to have the present and voting, I suppose, Mr. Chair. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question. Can you repeat your question again? I'm sorry.
I believe, Mr. Chair, in the roll calling of delegates, like the delegates has actually the option to whether state vote or present in voting, right?
Okay. Listen, address to you, and I'm sure this question has maybe to everyone as well. It is really, really necessary to say present and voting. Why not to say voting? Reason is that, as I said, you have a two procedure, procedural matters as well as the substantial matters. The roll call, in the roll call, it says about the procedural matters voting. When you say present and voting, it means you're saying I'm present and you are ready to vote. So whenever the motion comes, the chair will ask with you, are there any points of motion? So everyone will raise their hands, everyone raise their placard. So if you will not say during the roll call, present and voting, you will be ignored and you will be say, sorry, we will not consider your vote because during the voting, during the roll call, you have stated that you are just present but not here to vote. So it is really, really necessary to say present and voting. In most of the conferences, it is not make it clear, but I'm telling you, environment, with the platform environment, it is very, very important to say present and voting, because by saying present and voting, present, you are present in the council, voting, you are ready to vote during the procedural matters. Hope the answer of your question. I can see you guys are
Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. I can see you guys are keep sharing your WhatsApp number. There is no need to share over here. We will be sending you an email with your group link of WhatsApp. Just join that. No need to share your WhatsApp ID. WhatsApp number. I did by myself to those delegates who have yet to pay their fees and finalize their position for the to be the final delegate and to this session as well. So that's why you can contact. So please, there is no need to share your WhatsApp numbers. We'll be sending you an email to join your councils, Council A, Council B, and your allocation as well. Okay, then you can easily join it. So there is no need to share your WhatsApp. Okay, I can see the Iran have raised the hand. Yes, Iran, what is your question?
Thank you, sir, for the time. I want to ask, since we are in the WHO emergency season, are we still have to represent like specific status on our delegate on our allocated country? Like, for example, should I be representative of Minister of Health and Education of Iran or something like that?
Okay. You can easily quote this statement, but as I said, you are the foreign minister, you are the prime minister, you are the chief executive, and you can say you are the diplomat of your country. So whatever the statement comes from your government, you can quote that as the foreign minister, as the prime minister, as the health minister of the Iran, Islamic Republic of Iran, have just given this statement or have just quoted in these previous session about these things. Definitely you can do that. Okay, but your representation in this conference, in this you can say council, is the diplomat, as the representative, as the ambassador in the United Nations. Okay, hope the answer of your question, Iran.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, yes, Mike, your turn. Mike, can you hear me?
Thank you, Chair, to give me the floor. Yeah, I'm with you, Chair.
Please ask.
Okay, thank you. It's very interesting. I would like to know how we're going to do with to submit our draft resolutions. We're going to use Word, or I don't know how we're going to do with that. Thank you.
Okay. Basically, just bear with me. I'm just facing some technical issues. Now it's.
Hello everyone, please open your cameras.
Guys, it's a request by the conference manager to please open your cameras. Please, it's a request to open your cameras. Okay, so yes, about the resolution, as I said, your you can say your conference manager as well as your assistant committee director will be helping you. What usually we do, we'll create a Google Drive. You know, the Google Drive will have the access for everyone, so they can work according to that. And then you will sharing that particular Google Drive link to the assistant committee director, and then the assistant committee director will be sharing their screen. So everyone can easily read about this very easily, and everyone will easily understand what is going on and what are the topics and what are the perspective they are discussing. Whatever things into that, they can easily, you can say, work into that. So that's the best way to do so, and that's the best way to understand all aspect of resolution as well. Okay, so they will be sharing, and anyhow, as I said, like the technical team will be there. They will be really helping you. The assistant committee director is there for you to helping you for all those procedures and everything. Hope the answer of your question, Mike.
Last question, please.
Okay, yes, please ask, please ask.
I wanted to know what would be the rule of the ambassadors, for example, because I don't really know.
We have given you the rules and procedures. You have to go.
No, the rule of ambassadors.
The rule of
the ambassadors.
I mean, is that like pertaining to the conference? Okay, Mike, this is the question which I can ask you. Which I can ask you after this session, because this particular session is about the conference proceedings question answers, about the role of the ambassador. Please get in touch with me with the WhatsApp. I will explain you everything on that. Whatever the question regarding to the conference, you can anytime get in touch with me via WhatsApp.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We are entertaining all those questions just regarding to the conference, which will be on Saturday and Sunday. Thank you very much, Mike. I can see
Thank
the
you,
hand.
Chair. Thank you.
I have a question, Mr. Fawad.
Yes, Safiola, I was coming to you. Yes, your turn, sir.
Yes. Thank you so much for recognizing me for after a long time.
I have plenty of people, but you have a floor to ask now. No problem.
Yes, thank you so much. I have noted down here about the amendments raised by some states. So you mentioned that if anyone's raising an amendment, so there should be 5 or 6 signatories.
5 signatories
So who will
actually.
ask for the signatories? Yeah, 5 signatories. Who will ask for the signatories? Mr. Chair will ask the signatories, or automatically those who are raising the amendments, they will raise their placards jointly in the session.
Okay. In order to present your amendment to the chair, it is the responsibility of the writer or the presenter of the amendment to seek the signatories. You can ask, okay, to the chair that I am seeking the signatories. Whoever would like to be the signatory of that amendment, please, they can be the signatory. Then automatically the chair will share the screen, the assistant chair, and will show what is the amendment points, and whoever would like to put their name into the amendment, they can put into that, and then it will be put into the chair officially. They will see, they will read it, and then if that will be friendly amendment doesn't need the signatories, okay, because the author and the signatories will happily to accept that. But when it comes to the non-friendly, yes, non-friendly amendments do require 5 signatories, which you need to see during the committee sessions, either with the chat box option, either to ask the assistant from your assistant chairperson. They will entertain you. They will ask everyone, like, for instance, you as a delegate, you will be allocated later on, of course, by today, will be seeking the signatory to that particular amendment, so they can easily help you to get that. However, if you are failed to do that, you will not be able to present your amendment, okay? Because everyone have the right whether to be the signatory or not of your amendment. And again, signatory means that you are agree with that amendment or the resolution. Signatories means that you are happy to discuss, means for or against doesn't matter. Agree or disagree doesn't matter. In favor or in against doesn't matter. Happy to discuss. That is the main concept, actually. Okay. Hope the answer of your question, Safiullah.
Okay, last question, please. Last question.
Yes.
Yes.
Please,
Would it be possible to share this presentation to us?
just a second, India. I'll come back to you. Yes, Safiullah. Sorry. What was your last question? I'm sorry. Please repeat your question. What was your question? Safiullah, can you hear me? Okay, we'll come back to you on to that. We'll move to the India, Egypt. I'll come back to you because I'm just following the cubes. Yes, Mr. Sudhir, I can see you have raised your hand. Sir.
Hello.
Hello, Dr.
Sir,
Sudhir.
my question is that I am from India and my allotted country is also India.
It's good. You are lucky.
So it's okay. And one more question, sir. My profession is I'm basically government health officer.
Wow,
and we are doing intensive work on SDG brigade. We are following all the 17 goals of SDG in our team.
Wow, this is very good. Dr. Sudhir, I must say, you could be the vital delegate. You will be the amazing delegate to helping the entire conference because you are the profession. Yes. I mean, that's really, really appreciate. And in fact, I appreciate that you are one of us. You are actually showed an interest. It's great. I personally, yes, I personally say, and I applaud. It is really great because I mean, I personally as a youth advisor, and these people who are at the front of us are the youth members. They need the people who are actually as a frontliners, who are actually working onto these particular in a professional field. So definitely your suggestions, your approach will be really, really handy to the entire conference. Really appreciate, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes, I can see the hand now. No more hands. No more hands. Chair allowed to sign out at work. I will back shortly. Sorry, Uganda have asked a question into the chat box. Can Uganda speak on mic so I can understand, because I'm unable to understand the question? Uganda, please. Can you raise, is Uganda with us? Delegate of Uganda. Yes, Delegate of Uganda, I can see in the chat box, you have raised a question about, Chair, allow me to sign out at work. I will get back to you shortly. Okay, I guess what I understand, like you are free to go. If you don't have any other question, you are free to go. We have already ended the session. We are just entertaining the question answer, so at least you can get to know if you have any other query on that. Okay, so I can see the hands. Yes, Egypt. Egypt, you have a question, please ask. Oh. Yes, Delegate of Egypt. Yes, Egypt. I'm sorry, your mic is mute. Let me unmute it for you.
Thank you.
Yes,
so I
yes.
would like you about the collaborating during.
I am sorry, your mic was mute. Can you repeat your question again, please?
Okay. So I want just to ask you about the collaboration during the pandemic. So as you know, there were many relationships among nations during the pandemic of COVID-19. So can I talk about the relationship, the foreign policy during the pandemic in order to collaborate with our countries allies during the conference?
Okay, Egypt, thank you very much for your question. Basically, as I said, you need to do two types of research. One research is according to your country, and then topic, like Delegate of Egypt, respect to the global pandemic, what is your country is doing, what are the precautionary measures and whatsoever. And then Delegate of Egypt, working separately on the global pandemic, how this thing's going on, what are the issues, what are the major countries who are effective, what we have discussed during these rules and procedures session actually. So it's the two side, okay? And again, just refer to your you can say delegate kit. It does have the video about link of the video. It says how to research for the country perspective, how to research from the country to the particular topic, and how to research in general in topic. Then you will be easily understand. I'm telling you everyone, research is the key. If you are research enough, and parallel to that, the timing of the research is very, very important. They are parallel to each other. If you have a good research, but you don't know which particular time you need to put forward that research, then there is no point to having that particular research, I'm telling you. You should have the timing as well as the particular research as well. It should be parallel to each other, then you will be a very, very good and ideal delegate for this conference. Yes, Vince, I can see your raises hand.
Hello, Mr. Chair. Thank you for entertaining my question. So I would like to clarify, like the point to information, like it should be, or should it be done after the speaker finished his or her speak, or it should be entertained with the remaining time allotted for the speech? Just
Okay.
a clarification because I'm
Yes.
confused.
No. As I said, there are 4 points, okay? Point of personal privilege, point of order, excuse me, point of order, and then point of parliamentary inquiry, and the optional one, whether you want to use, whether you want to, you don't want to use, it's pretty much the same, the point of parliamentary inquiry. There are 3 types of motion. The only one point that could somehow come in between the speaker or distract the speaker actually is a point of personal privilege, because it is related to your own integrity. Maybe in case of any emergency, maybe in case of any kind of a need, or you want to go to the restroom, you just raise it and unmute your right and you said point of personal privilege. The chair will directly focus to you and will allow you to take the point of personal privilege. Except point of personal privilege, point of order, point of parliamentary inquiry. Please do not distract, do not intervene in between the speaker, in between the chairperson, whether when they are speaking to you guys, whether they are delivering the speeches to you, because it is totally disrespecting the council. It is totally disrespecting the delegate as well as the chairperson as well. So you have to wait. And when the floor is open, especially when the chair will ask, are there any points and motion on the floor? Then you have to raise it. Point of personal privilege, point of parliamentary inquiry, point of order, and that's it. Hope the answer of your question.
Last question, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
Like for instance, if I'm doing my speech and then there's still a remaining time, like diba, we have options, so like we can yield it back to the dice, the time, or maybe we could entertain some questions, right? Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
Yes, indeed, sir. Uh, but remember that yielding is only permitted in the speaker list or general speaker list. It is not permitted in the moderated caucuses. In not even in the unmoderated caucuses, because in unmoderated caucus there is no formal proceedings actually. It's just a temporary recess, it's a temporary break for the formal proceeding. But remember, you're not allowed to use the yielding in the moderate caucus, because just go logically. In moderate caucuses, you have a very limited time, 45 seconds, 30 seconds, 35 seconds, maximum 1 minute. Maximum, again, it is about, you can say, respective, or it is about like, with regards, you can say, if someone, like if your chairs allow, if your chairs give you discretions, then so. So the yielding is only allowed, it's only allowed during the speaker list, but
GSL,
not
yeah.
the moderated purposes. Hope the answer of your question. Yes,
Thank you,
Miss.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Vince. Yes, Miss Sakina.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for this presentation. Please, I just want more clarification about the number 101. I mean Model United Nations 101. Well, please, the number, what does it mean?
Well, it just given the name of that particular session, MUN 101 actually. Like it could be known as the Model UN training session. It could be like training of Model UN. It's just like a particular term that used in this kind of a conferences, to have MUN 101. When it comes to MUN 101, it's itself the self-explanatory that it's about the Model United Nations training sessions. There is nothing for into that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
That's fine. Now, I guess there is no question. Once again, thank you very much, everyone. Those are with us, who has already left, and those who are going to join us very soon. I wish you good luck. Please research about the things. Please go and watch the videos of MUN4SKILLS. Don't forget to subscribe. It's a very, very important channel because there are plenty of videos over there that could be helping for you in future as well, especially that concept, because if you're the first timer, have a look to that concept developed, the recent workshop that I've conducted about the concept development of the Model UN, like what is Model UN and how it helps with that. And again, on the behalf of World Youth International Model United Nation, I'll officially welcome you on board, and I will see you guys on Saturday at the opening ceremony with full of research, with full of preparation, and I wish you good luck for that. And don't forget the time we are following is +5 GMT. It's actually the Pakistan Standard Time. Okay, and the opening ceremony is going to start by 11 a.m. +5 GMT. Okay, once again, take care of yourself, and those who are yet to pay their fees, you can contact me. I can help you with that so you can confirm your registration for the upcoming session. Once again, thank you very much. Have a good day and goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for entertaining our question.